Oportunidad de entrevistar a uno de los hombres que están esculpiendo el futuro de la humanidad. Estudió para ser profesor de prepa, terminó dando clases en una universidad y cuando conoció Internet decidió apostar todo por la red. Fundó una empresa de comercio electrónico llamada Alibaba, algo así como Amazon, pero chino, aunque a estas alturas creo que ya deberíamos decirlo al revés. El año pasado, Alibaba, el gigante del comercio electrónico de China, tuvo ventas por 550 mil millones de dólares. Es decir, Alibaba vende en un año más o menos la mitad del Producto Interno Bruto de México. Jack Ma, fundador de Alibaba, visitó nuestro país. En la entrevista me habló de la Tercera Guerra Mundial, de los tiempos de horror que vienen para el ser humano por el avance de la inteligencia artificial y los robots. Lo entrevisté justo después de que estuvo con el presidente Enrique Peña Nieto.
This interview. Thank you. How did it all started for you? How do you become who you are?
Well,
In two sentences.
yeah, I think it's because of the internet and the great time when China grew, and I'm a lucky guy. I was trained to be a high school teacher, and I never thought today I could be like a business leader, doing so many things and have so many excellent young people working together. I never thought about that. It's life, like, as I said, life's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
You got the great chocolate over the ball.
I got. Yeah.
But what was the difference if you look back? Did you bet on the internet? As soon as you saw it, you said, this is it, this is the way, this is going to change the world? Or how did it happen?
No, at the beginning I never thought about the internet. Just want to be, I was a teacher in the university and were elected as the best teachers of the university by my students. And I taught myself, well, everything I told my students are the things I learned from books. So what if I leave the university and build up something for 10 years and then go back to teach? I probably could be better. That was my original thinking. So I tried some small business like a translation agency and stuff. It worked out, still surviving. And then 1995 I went to USA and I figured out this is something could be very interesting in the world. But I know this thing will be big, but I never know this thing could be that big.
Amazing. And what do you think the government's role in business? Do you think government should go with the business people in order to do things together, or you think government should be apart from businesses?
Well, government should do the things that government should do to support business. They should respect the entrepreneurship. They should build up the good infrastructure for doing business, right? And then third, they should build up a wonderful environment for the competition, the fair competition. And I think the government also should spend more money the education about training the kids about how to do business. So, and business should, yes, should work with the government, but not so close. I'm closely working with a lot of governments, not only China, but Malaysia and Pakistan. Today I come here talking to President of Mexico.
How was that?
It's a great meeting. We had a 1 hour and 5 minutes discussion about internet future, supporting small business here, entrepreneurs here, how we can use the internet to power small business in Mexico, to exporting outside, not only to USA, but also to Asia, to China.
What are you going to do in Mexico? What do you see in Mexico, and what are your plans for Mexico?
Thanks to President invited me year 2015 in Philippines. He said, Jack, come to Mexico. So I've always been thinking about it, come to Mexico. Any news about Mexico, I pay special attention to. And it's such a great market. You got 99% of the business in Mexico, a small business, but they do not have chance to exporting their products outside. Only big companies control. So this is what we think, if we can help 10% of the small business in Mexico sell their products, their food, their service, their manufactured products to China, to Asia. Now you're 80% rely on America. Think about using internet. You can sell things to Norway, Philippines, Malaysia, anywhere.
Do you think Mexican people should look not that much to the United States, but instead to China, to Asia, to other places?
Well, I think the past 10 or 30 or 40 years, you have to look at all the eyes in America. But in the next 30 years, the world is so small. I mean, such a wonderful world. You should go everywhere. China, you got a 300 million middle class rising, right? And Asia and Europe. So think if you have confidence in your, which I have confidence in the Mexico manufacturer, the product here, you can sell all over the world using your internet.
And are you going to set an office here? Do you discuss with the president about job creations or something like that?
Of course. I think job creation is everybody should pay attention to. The next 30 years, the new technology wave is going to kill a lot of jobs, but meanwhile create a lot of jobs. So if you start to worry today, it's better to start to move.
How do you see connectivity, internet in Mexico?
That's the problem. I think we should, probably Mexico government and company should invest more on the internet infrastructure, because internet is going to be the infrastructure of this century. If people are not connected to the internet in the next 10, 20 years, it will be worse than people did not connect to the electricity 20 years ago. You'll be left behind.
How do you see the world in 20, 30 years? Now that we're talking artificial intelligence, that we have robots that react like people, that we have the Internet of Things and everything works by itself. How do you see the world in 20, 30 years?
Well, this is the third technology revolution. We're lucky we're in the middle, at the beginning of it. Every technology revolution takes about 50 years. The first 20 years is about technology. The next 30 years is about application of the technology. So I think internet has just passed the first 20 years. Next 30 years depends on which country use the technology better. Which country can use the technology to empower their young people, empower their manufacturing, empower their services. So I think it's not the worst time yet. People will start worrying, because every technology revolution—
The worst is yet to come.
The worst thing is, I think people will worry a lot. When the first technology revolution comes, the first 50 years, a big mess. And people believe it or not, the first technology revolution caused World War I. The second technology revolution caused World War II. Now this is the third technology revolution. If the human being do not fight together against the poverty, disease, environment, we're going to be in trouble.
Do you see World War III around the—
I think if we do not have the same goal, people will have problems. Especially the countries who take advantage of technology will grow fast. Those countries does not have the technology will lag behind. So how can— this is the gap. And a lot of jobs are going to disappearing in the next 10, 20 years. A lot of new jobs is coming, but the speed of disappearing might be quicker than the job coming. So we got ready for that. That is why a company like us, our job is to making sure the technology, internet technology, can be more inclusive.
I read that you said once that in probably 20 years, the businessman of the year is going to be a robot.
Yeah, robot. Yeah, that's why I believe that. It's about data. Because if internet becomes the infrastructure, everything will come up with the data. By the way, I tell you. The first technology revolution, the energy is coal. Second technology, the energy is electricity or oil. This third technology, the energy, is about data. Without data, government cannot operate, business cannot operate, people cannot communicate. So the data comes. That is so critical for this century. So this is artificial intelligence or machine intelligence will grow fast. I think the past 100 years, the knowledge-based, we try to make sure everybody be smart. Next 100 years, machine is going to be smarter than human being. What the human being should be able to do better than machines? That's a big question. If you do not do better than machines on knowledge, you have no job. I personally think artificial is a little bit problems. If you do not manage it well, if you do not lead it a good direction, it might cause a lot of problems. So which I say, we should not do the artificial intelligence, we should have a machine intelligence. Machine should have its own way to think. Machine should do things that human being cannot do. Machine should not do things that replace human being.